This is a talk show for the queer community.
Called the Tint Talks. Today we'll be diving into the Grande Ball, which was created by Treyvonne and Mandima Qunta. Please introduce yourself and tell us more about the ball.
Okay. Firstly, I want to say hello to everyone. Thank you.
Sorry guys, hi.
Thank you for coming out. I just want to give a huge shout out to the houses. And you guys are amazing, and the things you've said, the kind of work that we're doing, I'll introduce myself, but I just need to do a shout out. The kind of work we're trying to do, and I'm just sad that Trey couldn't be here. He's out getting the bag in the rest of South Africa. Shout out to Trey. The kind of work that, and the things that him and I discuss, and the pointers that you guys have given to us, it is so motivational. We've taken all the criticism, all the hype, everything, because you can't build, we're saying we're building an empire, so for an empire to be built and to be stable, it needs criticism. So whatever you guys have to say, please let us know. We're not perfect, and this was our first one that we did, and we were overwhelmed by the response we got. And we're hoping that from here, it just keeps getting better and better and better. Please continue supporting us. And I don't know what to say, I'm touched.
Aww.
So thank you. And then my name is Mandima Qunta. The ball, sure. The ball is called a Grande Ball. I do it with the original Hunty, Treyvonne, who couldn't be here. He is the mother of the ball, and I am the guardian of the ball. Most people have no idea who I am, which is perfect.
You're just like the underdog.
I'm literally just like in the background. Somebody said to me, "Oh, I thought you were the runner." I was like, yes, I'm the runner. Well, the ball we were created it to have an inclusive space, because the one thing that him and I hated is the fact that the community is so segregated, and for an already marginalized community to have more marginalization did not make any sense to us. Hence, when I saw the House of Skhotane, I literally stalked them. I inboxed all of them on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey girls, hey, somebody needs to reply to me." Like, I went through all of it, because one thing that we need to clarify is that it's not just so what it stands for is it's for the GNC, it's for the queer community, and it's for the femme bodies. It basically stands for all the marginalized communities, and that's why we created the space. Because as much as they might call themselves allies, they go through some of what we go through as well as a community. And we created the space so that we can celebrate everyone. So that what everybody was saying, that they came to the ball and they felt empowered. That's exactly why we created it. And just, for me being there, I couldn't even see the stage. That's how packed it was. And when I saw those people and somebody said, "There's a queue outside," I was like, "What do you mean? Where are they going?" What do they want? And it was, even now, because we're planning the next one, it's so much pressure for us, because we want to do better and we want to involve more people and get more people in. And I don't know, there's so much I can say about the ball, but one thing I can say is that most of the projects that I do under my company are things that I personally enjoy, and the ball is there. And the kind of response we've gotten and the feedback, and also for me the most important part, and actually what makes the whole ball, is firstly the houses and all the performers. And by performers, we had live performers and we had DJs. These are people that we call up and we ask them. We literally ask for favors for some people. We always try to pay as many people as we can, but we negotiate with people, And the most beautiful thing for me, and I always say to people, guys, when we get to where we want to get, I promise you, nobody's getting left behind, because everybody agrees. Nobody's ever been bitchy to us or said no. Instead, it's always like, "Oh, the only thing we get is, guys, I'm shy," or "I don't think I can do it." And then we push
Which
Trey.
is natural,
And then Trey comes in and goes, "No, this is what you'll do."
When I went on,
I really wish I do nothing. I'm just like, guys, please just come do it for us, please. Because the thing is that I walked the first one when we did Pamper Pride. And I was shit scared. Woo. And also that's why everything that everybody says resonates with me, because firstly, they made me, you did actually.
I was about to say, I dressed
Not
her.
they.
We actually had a fight that day. She was like, "Guys, I'm literally naked." And
she made me walk out in a bodysuit, and nobody's seen me in a bodysuit. I've never seen myself in a bodysuit. So that's why whenever I speak to houses and I try to get people, I understand exactly what's going through your heads. And having to walk through a crowd of more than 100 people, whew, yo. I will never do it again personally, but like, shout out to everyone who does it. You guys make the ball. I want, like, for me, as much as you guys are like, oh, Mandima, whatever, no, you guys need to give yourself shout outs. So thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, so please tell us more about the rules of the ball and its effectiveness.
So the rules came about because Trey and I both, him and I, it's so funny, we have a really great synergy in that I said to him, we need to have rules because one of my friends who wanted to come to the ball, a straight person, said to me, the houses better bring it, and if they don't bring it, I'm gonna boo them. And I got so angry. I was like, you will not boo anyone, because it is so cowardly to stand in a crowd of people and boo the one person that's gone out of their way to prepare and walk in front of you while your ass standing there and all you can do is boo.
Spectate,
and I said to her, you will cheer until you cheer the shit out of yourself. If you can't, hamba, we don't need you, you know? And based on that, and Trey, the reason why he wanted to create rules is that we had read an article about some gay guy that had gotten attacked at a club. And we're just like, no, these things can't happen. So for us, it was an intentional thing to have rules because we said we're creating a safe space. So what are we creating? What is it? What's safe about our space, you know? And it started from making our bathrooms like GNC. You can pee wherever you want to as long as you're clean, you know? There's many rules. We had like 10 rules. I can't remember all of them. But the first one was you will cheer, you will be polite, you will be friendly, you will not fight, you know? And the whole thing was everybody that is here must have a great time and want to come back. And the one thing that will make people not come back is somebody making them feel uncomfortable. So we canceled all of that.
Okay.
And I hope the effect was exactly what we wanted. And for me, every time I walked around, because I was literally walking the whole night, I just kept seeing people making out. I was like, yes, there we go. So that for me, because queer people don't make out in public, because you're gonna get beaten up, you know? You can't go to a place and just be making out with your girlfriend, because you don't know who's watching you, you know? So for us to see that, and Trey and I were laughing about it, and we're like, yo, I'm sure a lot of things happened that night. We're like, yeah. So we've done it. So that for us, in a way, is a reward, and it shows that us setting those intentions, and because Trey on the night, as the mother of the ball, he's also the host. So he announces the rules, and he made sure that people understood them. And what was beautiful about the night is that we didn't even have to say the rules, because somehow people just understood what was happening and what the vibration was. Because I believe in frequency, and it just felt like everybody was on the same frequency the whole night, and the frequency was quite high. Because if you vibrate on a low frequency, everybody feels it, and we felt the opposite. Well, I did. I don't know about everybody else. Yeah.
Okay. And what categories were done on the day, and
Oh my
what
God.
were the inspirations behind them?
Well,
Before I was Kumbul.
Sisi, there's a lot going on upstairs. There's a lot. Trey came up with the what's the thing? The categories, and it was African King and Queen Royalty Realness, 2 Looks in 1 Extravaganza, Skhotane Reloaded Opulence, Beauty and Face, Battle of the Houses, and then the Winter Fantasy Open to All Runway. This was my favorite, because people were just strutting, and people came dressed. This is what I enjoyed the most, you know? The idea behind it, as much as we know that the concept itself is American, we were like, sharp, we get it, but how do we make it our own? And that's when, so as much as Trey came up with it, we were like, I was also giving suggestions, and then we put it together. We put all the categories together, and the whole idea behind it was that people must have fun with it, and it mustn't. And also for me, I think when we went into it, we knew that a lot of the people that will participate are creative, so give them something they can play with, you know. And when we shared the different categories with the different houses, everybody was like, these are the categories I've been waiting for. And I was like, good, you know, and we saw it. Like, the ball blows me away every single time, especially the amount of effort that goes into the looks that come out of there, you know? And that's what I appreciate, and that's why I personally can never claim the ball to be mine or Trey's, because it's not ours, it belongs to the community.
Okay. And where do you see it going within the next, say, 2-3 years?
Oh my God, all over South Africa, all over Africa.
Yes.
Like what we have in, like, our intention with it is to compete internationally. Like, we'd love to have like a international ball, and then there's a South African house that goes and represents us. And it's a house that has participated and has competed within the South African community, you know? It's basically what you're saying, the Olympics. Yes, we're creating the Olympics of the ball. Because we need to do that. Because if we don't celebrate, it's like how in Xhosa they like, yo, awusena shori, and then you're like, bana shori, bana shori, you know? It's exactly the same thing.
Yes.
I mean, really, if you don't hype yourself, who will? So that's why we created the ball, is because there's so much hate and like just bullshit around the community. So it's important to have spaces that say, you do you, and you do it to the best of your ability. Fuck whoever thinks you're doing the opposite of it. So yeah, that's where we're going with it. In the next 3 years, we want to be on TV.
Okay,
Yeah.
and you will, and you definitely will. Oh
we
no,
will.
siyakona.
Yeah. That's what we're doing with Tint Talks as well. This is a talk show for the queer community.
How's the public response been towards it, and how has social media or the news platforms contributed towards that?
We've had a great reception. I have no idea how it happened. It's literally been like, what's that word? Domino effect. Is that the thing? Yeah. Where I think people have been excited for the fact that, and I see it also because, like everybody was saying earlier on, we support each other. So like we'll go to Vogue nights, or we'll go to DGI? Yeah, DDI. So we'll go to all the others because we want to see, you know? And every time I go to all the other queer events, I see how happy everybody is. And that for me is very inspiring, because I don't want to ever create something that takes away from people, but people must want to come back because we're refilling them. Because the world is harsh. So if you have this little escape that you know you can come to monthly, bi-monthly, or however often, then we're doing the right thing. That's what you asked me, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I
I was like,
Okay, where do you source your contestants, and do people audition, or do you just like headhunt everyone?
well, okay. So we do an open call where people can enter. My English is gone, it's after hours.
I would.
So, yeah. You can enter. In fact, we'd love to have more people entering, because, and that's what, like I heard earlier on, is a lot of inclusion, and that's what we want. But it's just that because it's still in its infancy, I don't think a lot of people know about it, or the concept of houses or competing in a ball. So we want to reach out to more people, or more people reaching out to us, vice versa. But for now, how it's worked is that we've approached people that we know, but this is more or less their thing anyway. The House of Diamonds was put together by Trey when we did Pamper Pride before, and then going into La Grande Ball, we removed Trey from House of Diamonds so that he is the mother of the ball and he's neutral to everything. I stalked House of Skebengas.
As you said prior, yes.
And then, so also another shout out to two houses who couldn't be here tonight, which is the Palace and also House of Curiosity, because of just all the shit that's going down in the country. Some of them have been attacked, so they're just staying at home and recuperating. And I know they would have loved to be here and taking part in this. So yeah, we for the ones that we had now, we spoke to them, but we're definitely open to everybody and anybody that wants to come. There is no standard, there is no like, we don't have like a form that you have to fill in. You literally have to be yourself. And that's what I heard earlier on as well, is that for you to carry the ball, or to walk the runway, or to carry the runway, it needs to come from you. So if you feel like you can do it, please come through. Hit us up on social media, or literally just speak to me or Trey, because we're out here, and just tell us, and then we take it from there. Yeah.
Okay. So the ball is actually recognized as Joburg's first ever. So what certain pressures does this come along with?
I mean, the first of anything is always a lot of pressure. And I think for me, the pressure personally, and I know it's the same with Trey, because him and I speak quite a lot, is we're both perfectionists. And because we have this huge idea that we're trying to implement, every time we do the ball, like now we've done the first one and we saw the reception. So from here we can't go down. Like I personally don't want to go down, you know? And for us to, so the biggest pressure right now is to, how do we keep people interested? How do we keep it fresh? How do we keep it inclusive? And how do we keep it safe and fun on all the good things that people have spoken about, you know? Because of course, like from a production side, we know what we need to change and whatnot. That's easy. But for me, it's, how do we keep our audience the same audience and grow it from where we are right now? So yeah, it's a lot of pressure, but it's fun pressure. It's not like now. And also this is what I keep saying to Trey, is that we're not like doing heart surgery, you know? So we don't have to now have sleepless nights about it. And it needs to stay fun for us as well, as much as we're creating it to be a fun space for other people. Yeah.
Okay. And what's your take on universities creating safe zones, for the LGBTQ plus community? Like, for example, how Wits has gender-neutral bathrooms, and they have created gender-neutral options on their staff and student portals.
I mean, I don't know if I want to celebrate little things like that because
Yeah.
there's so much shit that goes down every single day that gets overlooked. But yay, you know, it's a start. I think the main thing that we need as a community like for instance for government, somebody was asking me because it was the elections this year and they're like, who are you voting for? I was like, well, nobody, because nobody stands for me. And instead what government does is that, and I was laughing the other day because the EFF wanted to pick somebody I know to go represent the LGBTI community. And I was like, are you joking? You're picking a young person who just came up now, and the only reason you're picking them is because they're influential on social media. When there's people that have been fighting, there are LGBTI activists who have been in this from the time that people have started accepting us in South Africa. Why aren't you taking them? And for me, I feel like the government and just in general in South Africa, the society does not take the community seriously. So up until it's taught in schools, and the one way to teach it is through acceptance, and where you start is you start with the kids, because those kids are going to become adults at some point, and a lot of bigotry is fed to them at a young age. So once I can see that some curriculum is including us, and they're actually getting kids to understand, and because now you can't, if you take a kid to a school and you're telling them that like this one comes from a same-sex family, some parents will want that kid to be out. That's not okay, you know. So start from there, start from the grassroots, and then come back to these things. Because if we're celebrating bathrooms, I mean, guys, you can pee wherever you want. Nobody's standing there guarding which bathroom you go into anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not being negative, but
you really can't.
Yeah, there's bigger things to deal with, you know. People are being killed for being themselves, and the only way to fix that is to go into the fabric of society. So up until we get into that, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough. Fair enough. Which South African artists have been a part of the ball, and what role did they play within that?
So one of the things that we wanted to create with the ball is called Pink Money, which is basically, I don't want to call it a Jewish concept, but we all know like other races, they have. Basically, the concept behind it and why we've now implemented it is that in the Jewish community, and why they're like one of the most powerful, is that 1 rand in their community circulates 21 times before it leaves the community. So everybody eats from it, everybody gets enriched from it. So what we are now trying to implement within the Grande Ball is creating pink money, where every single person that is in the limelight is from the community, from our DJs to our performers. And the two performers we had now at the first one was Analyzer. Who's would I be correct saying she's a rapper? Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Analyzer. So it's Analyzer, and then we had Wakanda Washington, who's a drag performer, you know? Okay. And as I said before, everybody that performs with us, we pay them at whatever we can afford, because everybody needs to get something. Yeah. And also because the community is so marginalized, there aren't a lot of platforms, and there aren't a lot of things that are accepting of them. So as much as this was entertainment, it needs to come from within. Yeah. So yeah, those are the ones, and that's how we're planning to keep it going forward. Is that our whole lineup is queer, and everybody, even from the people that work at the door, those were queer people. Because we're not trying to benefit. We're not trying to be the owners that benefit from it. We want it to be for everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then, when's the next ball? What can we expect, and where can we get the tickets?
You can get the tickets. Oh yeah, talking about the tickets. One thing I want to say, because it seemed earlier on we were talking about like money and stuff. So we have a thing under La Grande Ball is if you can't afford to be at the ball, but you still like to come, please volunteer. We do offer free tickets for people of the community who have no means of coming, like of being there. Because as we're saying, we're trying to grow it and make it for everyone. So please, like I'm saying, hit us up. We're very accessible. Let us know, and you can come through. And the next one is in October, because it's bi-monthly. So we're having a next one in October, and then our next one is in December. Okay. The date is TBC. We're still planning, a lot of planning. Okay. Yeah. And you can expect amazing houses, because we're trying to get all new houses this time. The diamonds are taking a seat.
No shade, no shade, no shade.
You'll be back later, don't worry. Yeah, so we're looking for, please, this is an open call, 4 new houses to please participate, and where we can, we'll also assist you. And yeah, we'll have our all new lineup as well. We're always trying to have, because it's such a big community and there's so little that's on offer for them, we're trying to have new faces every single time. So yeah, anybody that wants to get involved, please hit us up. It's not just ours. We're not now sitting, holding on to, no. I don't have time for that. So yeah.
And anything you'd love to say to all of us in closing?
In closing, I just want, I don't know, I'm really moved by, like, you know, me getting involved in Grande Ball was per chance. It wasn't something that I've been planning for like 10 years or anything like that. It literally was just brought to me, and when it was, somehow I always end up picking the things that make sense to me, and this has been a highlight for me of the year. And I just want to say thank you to every single person that has participated, that has showed up, that has posted on social media. We've just gotten so much love, you know? Yeah. I can't tell you of one bad thing that I've heard besides the standard, like it was maybe too full or it was hot, but it was just things that we know because we were there and we experienced. And I just want to say for the next one, we are going to do better. We're going to a bigger venue, and it will fit more people. You won't have to queue for a long time. We'll make sure we sort that out. The bathrooms, I don't think it'll be a problem with the bathrooms. I don't know. Yeah. And I just want to encourage everyone to continue living your best lives and continue being yourselves. And, you know, ever since I've come out as being this person that I am and being this queer body that I am, I've just received nothing but love, you know? And I think when you own yourself and you own your identity and you're true to yourself, the universe just conspires with it. So fuck the bullshit that people say and everything else that's put out there. And, you know, I always say that when people have bad things to say about you because they don't understand you, it's a reflection of themselves. And their own insecurities. And how little they think of themselves, and they project it on you. And unfortunately, we live in a society where there's no critical thinking. People are just riding on opinions. And I think the best thing that I can tell the queer community is don't listen to the noise. Shut it out. And like whenever I see somebody from the community that I know is part of the community, I always try and encourage them to continue going, because we have kids coming up under us, you know, and we need to be an inspiration to them. And the only way to do that is by living our lives and by creating such platforms, and it's like Grande Ball and anything else that people want to create. You can create whatever the hell you want, you know? And this thing of believing that the pie is small, there is no such thing as a pie. There's so much space, there's so much access, but it's just us all opening doors for each other and letting everybody walk in. So, yeah.
Thank you so much for
Shout
coming.
out to our sponsors, oh my God.
Actually, please name them. Name a few of them. Put them on the spot, actually.
I'm so sorry, I made this about the community.
Shout out about the community.
Yes, it is. It's always about the community.
Yeah.
But shout out to JMB Hive for hosting Tint Talks. Shout out to everybody that's here. Thank you so much for coming. We'll have another one. This is going to be online for those who couldn't come out because of safety or any other reasons. We see you, we're with you. Please, everybody, heal and be safe. Shout out to Nike that sponsors Grande Ball. Shout out to Jägermeister, and shout out to future sponsors. We're open. We're waiting.
Thank you so much for coming, and congratulations
Thank you
for
to
getting
you,
this
Sivu.
far.
Thank you to Sivu.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. And then, have any more questions before we actually wrap it all up?
Before the questions, I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated in Tint Talks. Everybody has done this from the goodness of their hearts. I really appreciate it. From the DJs to the cameramen to the panelists to the people that are here. Thank you. I have so many thank yous. I will never cry. But thank you.
Okay. Any questions, guys? No? Going once?
Oh, here's a question.
Go, baby, go. Go for it.
Come on.
Come through, yeah. Also, I love the outfit.
Yes.
Chonga.
Yes.
Oh, I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready for it.
I just want to ask, I'm asking you.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
Do I have to belong to a certain house for the ball, or could I just come as an individual?
We would love for you to create a house, because the whole idea behind it is that as Skit said earlier, is to create families. Because there's a lot of displaced bodies, and the whole idea about it is that it's not just a house to compete with us at the Grande Ball, but it's for you to walk away having your own people. So as much as we'd love for you to enter in your fabulousness, come with 3 other people and you can enter.
So I just come with, how does
it
one create a house, like from start?
You call your friends. Like they said, I stalked House of Skhotane because I saw them out. They were like a bunch of girls together, killing it. And I was like, you guys have to come. And basically that's what happened. You literally call your own people. There's no criteria. You don't have to be a certain way or do, no. It's literally a celebration of every single queer body in its excellence.
I'm in.
Okay.
She is.